نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope that all of you are doing good inshallah and that you are in the best of your health and iman and everything going on in your lives as well. Today is going to be session number 10th of Qaida and we will inshallah continue from the topic of harakat. From the topic of harakat, which were Fatha, Dhamma, and Kasra. Yesterday we did the Fatha one, and inshallah today we will discuss, the Kasra and Dhamma as well. So, with regards to these symbols, I told you that these are the three basic symbols that you will, find in Quran, which make the short vowel sounds of a, e, and u. So, two of these symbols they appear above the letter, and one symbol appears below the letter. So the symbol which appears below the letter, short vowel symbol, is this of kasra. Kasra, right? And it appears below the letters and makes a short vowel sound of E. E, right? And inshallah, we will do this sort of exercise sessions and we will do both of these, kasra and dhamma, inshallah. So the first exercise you can say in front of you is, with all of the Arabic alphabets having kasra below them. So the first row, you might be familiar, for now, you might be familiar with the letters somewhat, right? So that is why we'll just try to move on a bit faster from now onwards. So at the start, you see the letter ba. Letter ba with a kasra here, right? So ba letter with a kasra will make a sound of B, B, and then ta letter, the light ta letter, and we say T, B, T. I mentioned that whenever we are going to stretch the fatha, dhamma, or kasra, we are not supposed to overdo that. All right, we are not supposed to exaggerate their sounds. So this is like B. So we are not supposed to prolong this a bit more, right? We are not supposed to say B, or we are not supposed to shorten this as well by saying B, right? We will just make a balance twice and say B, T, T, B, T, C, right? So this is C, C. Tip of the tongue touches the tip of our upper teeth and we make a soft sound and say C, C. Okay, I also mentioned one more important point, which is that when I am, articulating these letters and I'm, pronouncing this short vowel sound with them, you are not supposed to focus much on what is written below them in English form, okay? Because that is not exactly, exactly correct. That is not the exact way to articulate these. That is just there to make you, to just help you remember the sounds a little bit. But for example, the sound of this C is not the th sound, th sound. This is not that sound, okay? So this is C, C. Okay, so the next one is D, D. The j sound with strength, right? D. And he, he. So we will not say he. That is another ha, right? So this ha comes from the middle portion of the throat. So the way we did the yesterday's exercise, we will just repeat this one today in the same manner and say B T C G he, B T C G he. This exercise will not only help you, transition the sound of these alphabets, right? It will also help you be fluent at articulating these, right? So that is going to help you. So B, T, C, G, he, B, T, C, G, he. The next one is kha letter with a kasra here, so we will say hui, hui. I told you that this is a heavy letter from those seven heavy letters. So whenever those seven heavy letters, they come with either a fatha or a kasra or dhamma. They are heavy in all of the states. So even if kha letter has a kasra below it, still we will make a heavy sound and say khi, khi, with scratch as well. Khi, khi, di, zi, ri, zi, dal, di, dal kasra di, zal kasra zi, ra kasra ri, ri, and za kasra zi, khi, di, zi, ri, zi, zi, zi with a buzzing sound, and this zi, which is like a soft sound, tip of the tongue touches the tip of our upper teeth, and we say the, the. Okay, the, ri, zi. Si, she, sli, li, ti. Teen letter, which has this whistle sound in it as well. Si, si, she. The sound of this she, in this letter, the air just spreads in our mouth and we say she, she, see, she, slee, slee. Okay, so this is like a heavy sound, right? From those seven heavy letters of the abbreviation خصادين قيض. So swad is from those seven heavy letters and we say slee, slee. This was C, C, and this is slee, slee. The light one and the heavy one, slee. Then ضاد letter with a kasra and we say ضي, ضي. Again, this is a heavy sound. We're not supposed to say the. If you will say the, that will become the dal sound of the. This is a heavy ضي, ضي. For this, the sides of the back part of the tongue are used. ضي. The next is طي, طي. Again, we are not supposed to make a light sound and say T. That will become the letter ta, T. This is T and this is T, T. A heavy one. T, T. Okay, so we say it like C, she, sli, di, ti. The first two here are light letters. C, she, C, she. For the light letters, the back part of our tongue is just in a normal state, in a relaxed state, right? For the heavy letters, the back part of the tongue is raised. So for the first two, the back part of the tongue will be in resting position. For the next three, we are supposed to work on the back part of the tongue and make it, raised. Si, she, fli, di, ti. The next is the letter, the letter, right? And this letter, the sound of this letter is a heavy form of this letter. This was the. So the articulation of this V is same but a heavy sound. V. This is the, and this is the. So V and Ain letter. Ain letter, Ain kasra, Ri, 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 Ri. This is not E sound of Hamza, okay? This is from the middle portion of throat. Ri and Ri, Ri. Ghain letter making a gargle sound and we say Ri, 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 Ri. And Fi, Fa kasra Fi, Qaf kasra Qi, Qaf. The heavy sound, a heavy letter, Qaf, Qaf kasra Qi. For this letter, back like the back part of the tongue, it touches the soft palate with strength, and we say Qi, Ri, 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 Fi, Qi, Ri, 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 Fi, Qi. Okay, so the next one is Kaf, letter, the light kaf. This was a heavy kaf. This is a light kaf. And it just makes a, simple sound of ki, just like the K sound, right? Ki. Kaf kasra ki. This was qaf kasra qi. Qi. And this is ki. Ki. The next one is lam kasra li. Mim kasra mi. Noon kasra ni. Wow kasra we. We. I said that for wow, you're supposed to shape your lips round and say we. Kili mini we. Kili mini we. Okay, so this the way we are articulating these right now, it also helps you identify, how much you are supposed to stretch. Ki, li, mi, right? We're not supposed to overdo this, so we just say like ki, li, mi, ni, we. Okay, so the next row is with ha letter. Ha kasra he. This ha is different from this ha. Ha. This was he, and this is he. Ha kasra he, hamza kasra right? And the next one again here is a hamza, okay? So hamza kasra ya kasra yi, and again ya kasra yi. He, ye. Okay, so this was the exercise that we did right now. Moving on to the next exercise with this, for practicing the kasra more, which is this one. Okay, so just the way we did yesterday's of fatha. So today we have like a kasra here in all of these, right? The kasra here, the kasra here. So in all of these, you will see kasra sometimes at the end, sometimes in the middle. So you will have to practice, focus more on the kasra today. Because yesterday we did fatha, so today is like a session for kasra and dhamma. So we will focus on these. So the first one here is habita, habita, the ha, which is from the middle portion of throat, right? Middle portion of throat. So we say ha, habita, the ta letter, which is the heavy letter here. Habita, ta. I'm not saying ta. This is not ta sound. This is ta. Habita, the heavy ta. The next is labitha, labitha, b. Kasra here. You can articulate this exercise like this as well. Lam fatha la, ba kasra bi, ثا فتحة ثا لبث, because we don't have much time for this, so that is why I'm just skipping this step here, so you can practice in that way as well. So let us do this. لام فتحة لا بي كسرة بي ثا فتحة ثا لبث حبيط لبث أبتي همزة فتحة أ با فتحة با تا كسرتي أبتي أبتي, right? So را فتحة را, ha كسرة حي, from the middle portion, right? This same ha. راحي ميم فتحة ما, رحيمة رحيمة. Also, we discussed yesterday that whenever the raw letter has a fatha on it, it is then a heavy letter. Because ra is from those three letters which are sometimes heavy and sometimes light. So here we will say ra, rahima, sin fatha sin, kha kasra khi, ra fatha ra, sakhira, sakhira. Okay, so this is the way we do it. حبيط لبث أبتي رحيم ساخر. On the yesterday session as well, I told you that rather than saying this word sakhira, when I will individually say this word here, I will be saying sakhira. But because I just say the first row in one go, and I stop here at this word, so I just rather I just change the last symbol of short vowel sound of fatha to vowel-less sound. Okay, I will make this vowel-less. So I will make it vowel-less is that the raw letter will remain, the vowel will be not here. So I will say sakhir, sakhir, right? So that is from the the rules that we will do inshallah. But for now, you just remember that when I'm saying in one go, I just say the last word and the last letter of this in a vowel-less way. So habita, labitha, abati, rahima, sakhir. Okay, in this way. So the next row, first of all, I will just say this in one go, and then we will do one by one as well. Yadiya, adina, bariqa, shariba, hasib. Hasib. I made it vowel-less at the end. So the first one here was ya letter with a fatha. Ya fatha ya. Dal kasra di. Ya fatha ya. Yadiya. همزة فتحة أ ذال كسرة ذي نون فتحة نا أذينا يدي أذينا با فتحة با ري را كسرة ري قاف فتحة قا بريقة. Here, the last alphabet, which is qaf, is a heavy one, right? Qa, qa, a heavy qaf. So I'm saying bariqa. So shariba, shariba, sheen, ra, and ba. Shariba. Hasiba, ha letter, seen, and ba. Hasiba. So let's do this one more time. Yadiya, adina, bariqa, shariba, hasib. Hasib. I'm, bouncing back the sound on the last alphabet here, and we will, inshallah, be doing these as well. So for now, just, try to copy the way I'm doing. Hasib. Okay, so this was hasiba, and I'm saying hasib. The next row starts like this. خسر خشي رضي غضب صعق صعق. Okay, again making this vowel-less here. So here خا فتحة خا سين كسرة سي را فتحة را خسيرة خشية خشية, right? خاشية خشية را ضاد يا رضية رضية. ضاد is a heavy letter, so we say ضي ضي. رضية رضية. غين ضاد با غضيبة. Got the sound at غين. ضاد is a heavy one. ضي and ba at the end. غضيبة. Sad letter, a heavy letter. Ain from the middle portion of the throat, and Qaf is again a heavy letter. Sa'iqa, sa'iqa. So, for this, word here, the sound of the Ain letter should be prominent, right? So, Sad is a heavy, so we say Sa. The sound will be like Sa. Saw, sa'i, ri. From the middle portion of throat, ri. Sa'iqa, qa. At the end, qaf letter. Back part of the tongue touches the soft palate with strength. Qa. The next row is طفيقة صف طفيقة سفيهة عليمة يلج عامل عامل. Okay, so طفيقة طا. طا is a heavy sound at the start, and fi, fa letter, and qaf again a heavy one. طا طفيقة طفيقة. This is not tafiqa. Ta. This is not ta, right? This is not ta. This is ta. Tafiqa. Safiha. The ha letter, this one, which comes from the lower portion of the throat. Safiha. Sin faha. Alima. Ain, lam, and mim. A. Alima. Yalija. Ya, lam, and jim. Yalija. Lam letter with a kasra. Li. Yalija. Amila. A. Ain letter again. Amila. Amila. The next row goes like this. فهي عاهدة يائسة إرام إبل إبل فهي فها and ya فهي هي فهي عاهدة عين letter عاهدة عاهدة يائسة Ya letter, then Hamza letter, and then Seen letter. I told you that, this is a way of writing the Hamza as well. That sometimes Hamza is written, below something like this as well, like this. So here Hamza is like this. So we say Ya Isa. Here Hamza is below the Ya letter, right? Even though you don't see the like the dots of ya here, the two dots of ya, but that is a ya here. Okay, so ya isa, ya isa, irama, irama. I told you that ra will be heavy when it has a fatha on top of it. So we say e ra. The sound will go like ra. Irama, ibil. This was ibili. Ibili, Hamza, Ba, and Lam. Ibili. But I'm just making the vowels at the end and saying Ibil. Okay, so this was what we learned so far with regards to the Kasra. Let's move on to the Dhamma one, right? We will just go a bit with faster with Dhamma. Okay, so there is like an exercise for you to practice as well. So you can just take a screenshot of this exercise as well, right? And what you can do is that the way we did the previous exercise, you will have to practice it in that way. And for this exercise, this might be a bit more easier for you. Why? Because you see that in this exercise they have not joined the letters completely together, right? You see this little spaces here. If I can just show you that, you can see these spaces, they are not completely joined from here. So this will help you in writing as well, in understanding the letters more as well. You can practice it in this way, right? So this was like for example, in this word there was C letter, Kha letter, and Ra letter. So the way they took the first portion of scene, the upper portion of the Kha letter and Ra letter, and this looked like something like this then, right? When we just cut the portions into the smaller parts, these are like this, and then they join these together, and that is how the words are formed. So same is the case with this one as well. You can see, so we just say Adina, Baqiya, Hamida, Khashiya, or at the end we should be saying Khashi. Okay, so this is the way you are supposed to just practice this exercise as well, inshallah. Moving on to the dhamma. Dhamma is from the three, vowel symbols, short vowel symbols. It appears above the letter. For example, we have a letter and it appears above the letter. So this will make a short oo sound, right? Oo sound. And let's see this with the words of Arabic as well, letters of Arabic. So let's say this in one go. Try to say this with me, okay? Butu suju. Okay, so I just said it, uh, I just said it fine. The exercise had a mistake here, and it made me confused as well. So this is supposed to be Jim here, right? Because the Kha letter is here. With regards to the sequence, the Jim letter is here. This is Jim here, okay? Butu suju hu hu hu. When we are articulating the dhamma on all of these, you should be mindful of the articulation of these letters as well, right? So when the ha letter comes, Be mindful that this is from the middle portion of the throat and it is much more airy. So you will say who, who. The first you push the air and then you make a sound of who, who. Bu tu su ju hu. Hudu zuru zu zu, right? Who, who with scratch. Hudu zu, the soft one. These two both were soft. Okay, tip of the tongue touches the tip of our upper teeth for both of these. Su and zu. Hudu zuru zu. The next one is su shu su bu tu. This you will have to just practice for these inshallah. Okay, su shu. Okay, this was like a su which is like light letter, right? And this is a heavy letter, so this was su, su, simply su. But when you are making this sound, try to raise the back part of your tongue with that and say su, su. I don't know if you are able to hear the difference. This was a like a light sound, so the back part of the tongue will be in resting position. And you say just su, just like the S of English, the way you do that. Okay, su. And for this, you make a bit heavy sound and say su, su. Okay, su and su, 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 shu, su, lu, tu. Again, a heavy sound, lu, lu. And again, a heavy sound, not the ta letter. Okay, so this was tu, tu, and this is pu, tu, pu. What happens that, the difference that you might feel with the dhamma symbol on top of these, that will be a bit less, right? When it comes to the fatha and kasra, the difference is quite prominent. It is not like the difference is not here when there is a dhamma. The difference is there. I'm just, kind of a bit worried that you might not be able to hear that much while the Zoom session, right? So I'll try to say this again. This is like two, and two, two, two. I'm just saying this with bit of strength. Tip of the tongue touches the back part of the upper teeth with strength for this, and back part of the tongue is raised as well. Let's move on to the next one. Zu ru ru fu pu. Zu ru ru fu pu. This was a heavy letter, right? And we are supposed to differentiate this one with which one, right? This zu with this one. So this is like a light one and this is a heavy. Zu and lu, 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 ru, ain letter from the middle portion of throat, and we say ru, ru. You are supposed to differentiate this sound with this one coming after. Okay, ru and ru, ru, fu and qu, qu. The heavy qaf, right? Qu. And this is ku, the light one. This is a heavy one, and this is a light one. Ku. This was o, and this is ku. Lu, mu, nu, and for wow, shaping your lips round and saying wu. Kulu, mu, nu, wu. The last row, hu, hu. For this ha, you were supposed to differentiate this with which ha? This ha, this ha. Right? So this was a who, and this is who, who from the lower portion of the throat. Then oo, and then again oo. Both are hamzas here. So this was oo, and this is oo. And at the end, you. Okay, ya letter with dhamma. Who, you. Okay, so moving on to this exercise with the dhamma. Okay, so dhamma, you will see these dhammas. Okay, so let's just say all of these letters with dhamma as well. Okay, here all of the dhammas in these examples. Buhita khu. Okay, sorry. Buhita khabutha kathura ju'ila hushir. Hushir. at the end, again making this vowel-less because I stayed here, so I'll make the last letter with a fatha to a vowel-less. This will happen even if there is a fatha or kasra below the letter or dhamma. When these three comes at the end of the letter on which we stop, we just make all of these vowel-less. Okay? We just change them to a vowel-less symbol, which is this one. The symbol is like this. Okay. Buhita, buhita, khabusa, kathura, ju'ila, ri, ju'ila, hu, hushira, raw sound at the end. At the end is a raw sound. Hushira, khuliqa, qa, kha with scratch and a heavy letter, and then qaf again is a heavy letter at the end. So this is khuliqa, khuliqa, du'iya, ri. When a ayn letter comes with a kasra, that can be a bit tricky. So will have to say this with proper articulation and say ayn kasra ri, ri, du'iya, du'iya. Okay, so ذال ضمة ذو ذكر ra at the end with a fatha, so we'll make a heavy sound. ذكر rusulu rusulu, all three letters with a dhamma on top of them. Rusulu. Okay, rubu'u rubu'u at the end. Ayn letter with dhamma. U not oo. Okay, this is not the exact way to write it. Okay, this is from the middle portion of the throat, and we say ru, ru. Okay, rubu'u. Suqita, suqita. Qaf letter is a heavy letter. Qi. Qaf with a kasra. Qi. And ta, which is again a heavy one. Suqita. A'idhu, a'idhu. The first one is a hamza, so we just say a, and then we say ri from the middle portion of throat. Ri, a, ri, dhu, a heavy one. Dhu, a, ri, dhu, suhufi, su. Swad is a heavy sound here, okay? Swad is a heavy letter. Fu, fu. And ha letter. Hu, suhufi, suhufi, duriba, du. Again a heavy letter. Du, riba, riba, duriba. Ta letter is a heavy letter here. Tu, tubi'a, a at the end. A, tubi'a. Okay, سقيط أعيض صحفي ضرب طبيعة, or at the end we should be saying طبيع. Let's say this for the upper row as well. خلق ضعي ذكر رسول ربع. At the end making vowelless. عفية فعيل قتل كتب لعن عين at the end. لعن. Okay, so there are a lot of ains coming today, right? So you should be saying ain from the proper, proper place. Ain here. Even though we are practicing dhamma for now, but still because ains are coming as well, so we should be practicing those as well. So عفية, عفية, فعيل, فعيل. Qaf letter here at the start, right? The heavy qaf, so we say qu, qutila, qutila, kutiba, kutiba. The light kaf letter here, previously there was a heavy qaf. This is like light kaf, kutiba, kutiba. And lu'ina, lu'ina, ain letter here, lu'ina. Then منع نفخ وضيع وجد أخر أخر. Okay, so منع ع مو ميم with a ضمة منع منع نفخ نفخ. Okay, خا letter with a scratch. نفخ وضيع ضيع ضاد letter ضاد and then at the end عين letter وضيع. Okay, so ضاد and عين وضيع وجد وجد وو, right, واو with a ضمة وو وجد أخر أخر. Kha will be heavy, ra will be heavy as well. Kha ru. So we can just say kha and ru. You can just say like this. Ru. Ukharu. Okay. So that was it for this exercise. I hope you will just practice it in the way I just did, right? You just say like buhita khub buhita khabusa kathura ju'ila hushir. خلق دعي ذكر رسل ربع سقيط أعظ صحف ضرب طبع عفي فعل قتل كتب لعن منيع نفخ وضيع وجد أخر. Okay, so you will have to practice, and I too will have to practice for this, I think, right? So that we get to be a bit more fluent in reciting this, inshallah. So I have like a practice exercise for you as well. You can again, take a screenshot for this, or you can just I will just share with you in the group as well, inshallah. Because we have like a weekend, and you can inshallah practice these, right? Like ju'ila. I said that you can practice writing as well. The Jim at the start, right? We just took the first part. Ri and La, we just, the way we are joining these, you will get to have a better understanding from this exercise, inshallah. So you will have to practice in that way. Let me say that this is just the first row here. I will say this. Ju'ila khuliqa dhukira su'il. I hope you will, inshallah, try this. That is it for today's session. Uh, and if you have any query, you can ask me that as well.